for the Office of the State Attorney.
Chase Thompson on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
All right, anybody in the gallery, if you're going to testify today, I'm going to need you to stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. And then when you get into the box and you can put your hands down. Thank you. When you get into the box and you testify, I need you to keep your mask on and I need you to get as close to the microphone as possible. It's going to be awkward and it's to avoid us having to repeat ourselves over and over. The loudspeaker does not pick up the microphone well. Okay? Thank you. All right, I'm recalling 2020 CF 1487180 Deborah Franklin. I got an email this morning about a bond correction as to the driving while license suspended as a third subsequent offender. It was set at $1,000. I stayed that bond at $1,000. I guess the bondsman came to post the bond that was set at $2,500. Do we know, did she post the $2,500 bond?
Yes, she
Okay.
posted it.
So that will need to be corrected to the $2,500 bond, not the $1,000 bond. So we'll just need to be corrected as to that. All right, good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
My name is Trevor Dolan.
All right, Mr. Dolan, you're here in 2020 CF 1475780. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for an aggravated battery. And I will appoint the public defender in all of your cases. Or two of your cases, I see. And you also have a resisting an officer without violence and a possession of drug paraphernalia in 2020 MM 89360. There's probable cause for those, and I'll appoint the public defender. All right, so on the domestic violence, you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Your bond is set at $10,000. On the drug paraphernalia, the bond will stay at $500. On count two, the bond will be $100. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, tell me your name.
My name's Eli Schneider.
Mr. Schneider, you're here in 2020 CF 1490780. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic or dating violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Thank you. Were you sworn in?
Ma'am, yes.
Did you? Okay. And can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Bethany Rogers, Rogers.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rogers. Ms. Bush, did you want to inquire?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Rogers.
Good morning.
What is your relationship with Mr. Schneider?
We've dated for about 8 months.
And do you live together?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Do you want to have contact with him during the pendency of this case?
I'm not in fear of him, so,
Okay. Do you want to have contact with
Yes,
him
ma'am.
during the pendency of this case?
yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that his behavior may have been caused by alcohol or any kind of controlled substance?
No, ma'am, not by controlled substance, but maybe by the overwhelming, his condition. It was our first time in a public atmosphere where he had to use a wheelchair, He's recently become partially paralyzed on his right side due to some neurological stuff going on. So I believe there was a meltdown. It was our third day in the parks to where he was confined to a wheelchair. And there was that was initially where the problem started, and I think throughout the day, I really think that there was something.
Okay. Over the course of your 8 months,
Yes, ma'am.
has there been any prior violence?
No, ma'am.
If something like this were to happen again and you were threatened, would you be comfortable calling law enforcement?
Absolutely.
All right, I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Thompson, any questions for Ms. Rogers?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rogers. Yes, is there
I do
anything you
have a
wanted to tell
question.
me?
Yes, ma'am. There's a concern we're supposed to leave to go back to Mississippi and New Orleans today. And I have travel money, basically, so there's a concern. I was inquiring about an indigent bond. I don't know what you call it
Well, he
here.
qualifies for pretrial release, so I'm gonna put him on pretrial release. He'll have to comply with those reporting requirements, but he'll get released today,
He will,
okay, without having to post a bond.
Is there approximate time that I should be
I
here?
can't tell you that. I don't control the doors to the jail. They have to process him, and then he'll be released. It should be a couple of hours,
Okay.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so, Mr. Snyder, I'm gonna allow you to have non-hostile, non-violent contact with the victim in the case.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand that that's non-hostile,
Yes,
non-violent?
ma'am.
So no pushing, shoving, biting, scratching, kicking, getting in her face, saying mean things, or being disrespectful?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I'm gonna place you on pretrial release. I'm gonna allow you to travel back to Mississippi. You just
Thank
have to
you.
make sure that you report for any court dates, you comply with pretrial release, and you keep in touch with the public defender, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day. All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Daniel Leltu.
Tell me your name again.
Daniel Leltu.
Mr. Laltu, you're here in 2020 MM 8948AO. You're arrested for a violation of a domestic injunction. I do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You're not to return back to the victim's residence. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. You're to comply with the injunction in 2018-DR-005741-0. Your bond is set at $5,000. Thank you, sir. Need that case number. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Joshua Young.
Mr. Young, you're here in two cases, 2020 MM 8927AO. That's a battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. And I don't have a form for the, I have a form for the public defender. I'll appoint them to represent you in your case. And then I also have 2020 MM 8849AO. That's a warrant for domestic violence, battery, as well as petty theft. And I will appoint the public defender in that case for you as well. In both cases, you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return back to the residence, you may do so one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You may not go over there without law enforcement. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. I am setting your bond with pretrial release as well on just the one battery on 8927 at 2,500. On the battery and the petty theft, the bond will be set at 2,500 and 500, and pretrial release on both cases as well. Thank you, sir. All right, and Spanish. Do you need the interpreter?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Good morning, this is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line, already sworn in today.
Okay, thank you. We are in BRC 1. The defendant is at the podium with the headphones on. Just let me know when you've made contact.
Yes,
This
one
is Judge
moment, Your
Witt.
Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay, good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Michael Payares. Payares.
Michael Payares.
Sí, señora.
Sir, you're here in 2020 MM 8932AO. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
My name is Elida. My last name is Tobon. Tobon.
All right, ma'am. And Ms. Bush, did you want to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Tobin.
Good morning, ma'am.
What is your relationship with Mr. Payares?
He is my boyfriend.
Do you live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of him?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been in a relationship?
3 years and 9 months.
Over the course of that time, just under 4 years, has there been prior violence, whether or not it was reported?
This one is the first time that we haven't argued.
I'm sorry?
This one was the first time that we had an argue.
Okay. And do you believe that alcohol or any kind of controlled substance contributed to his behavior?
No, because he doesn't drink and he doesn't consume any kind of substance.
If something like this were to happen again, and you felt that your safety was being threatened, would you be comfortable calling law enforcement?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Thompson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. I am going to allow you, Mr. Payares, to have contact. It's non-hostile, non-violent contact, no pushing, shoving, biting, scratching, grabbing at her, doing anything that she does not want you to do to her. You can't get in her face or be disrespectful or say mean things to her. Do you understand? You're nodding your head, but I need an affirmative answer.
Yes.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. I am going to place you on pretrial release. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Derek Bonet Rodriguez. Bonet Rodriguez.
Derek Bonet Rodriguez.
Sir, you're here in 2020 MM 8934AO. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia, soliciting without a permit, and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer today?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 10 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and court costs, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bonnet Rodriguez, if you wanted to resolve these charges today, the state's offer is an adjudication of guilt, 10 days with credit for 2 days, and I would give you a year to pay your court costs off. If you don't want to accept that offer, I will impose the bonds in the case. Do you want to accept the offer and resolve it, or do you want to pay the bond?
Está bien, acepto los 10 días.
That's fine, I accept the 10 days.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Sí,
Yes,
Did you understand everything on the plea form?
sí,
yes,
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
sí.
yes,
Are you on probation anywhere?
No. No.
no,
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Sí,
yes,
I do find there's a factual basis to accept your plea to all 3 counts. Based on the affidavit in the court file, I'll adjudicate you guilty on all 3 counts. Sentence you to 10 days on all 3 counts with credit for 2 days' time served. The counts will run concurrent. In order that you pay your court costs by December 18th, 2021. If you would like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I'm not taking any action on your other case. Make sure you don't miss any court, okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Elifelet Aponte Escobar. Elifelet. Eli. Escobar.
Eddie Aponte Escobar.
Sir, you're here in 2020 CF 14909AO. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior theft convictions. There is probable cause for the offense. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to any Home Depot. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness. Abide by any trespass warning. I'm setting your bond at $2,500. I'm revoking the bonds in 2020 CF 14266AO and 2020 CF 10234AO. Setting those bonds at none at this time, and I will appoint the public defender in any case for which you do not have them already. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Jesús Emanuel Pagan Alejandro. Pagan Alejandro. Sí, Pagan Alejandro.
Jesús Emanuel Pagan Alejandro.
Sir, you're here in 2020 CF 14912AO. You were arrested for possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, possession of heroin with a weapon, possession of cocaine with a weapon, possession of a firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause for those offenses. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return back to the Ramada by Wyndham Suites at the Orlando Airport. You're not to possess or consume drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Your bond on count 1 is set at $15,000. Counts 2, 3, 4, 5 are set at $150, and count 6 is set at $100. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
José Pérez. José Adán Pérez.
Jose Adan Perez.
Mr. Perez, you're here in 2020 CF 14885AO. You're arrested for home invasion robbery with a weapon, aggravated assault with a weapon, and aggravated battery with a weapon. There is probable cause for those offenses. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Count 1 is a punishable by life felony. Mr. Thompson?
Your Honor, the defense will not be holding the state to their burden. We'll just reserve the right for Arthur hearing downtown.
Okay, have you explained that to Mr. Perez?
No.
Okay, why don't you do that so that he understands what you're doing? He does have an immigration detainer. He would not be released today even if I did give him a bond, so he explained that to him as well. I have one case for Mr. Jose Perez. I don't have another case. They don't even have it on here either. His son is also a defendant. Maybe that's the son. This is the 14885. Okay. No, he's the dad and then there's the son.
Sí. Sí.
Okay, Mr. Perez, did you understand what Mr. Thompson explained to you?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. You do have an immigration detainer as well that I have to advise you of, so immigration will probably come and talk to you about that. But I have appointed the public defender so you can speak with them about your case. Based on Mr. Thompson's representation, I'm going to hold you at no bond on count 1. They're going to file a bond motion for you in the trial division as soon as they can. You're not to return to the scene of where the offense is alleged to have occurred, so that don't go back to the victim's residence. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to have any contact with any victim, witness, or co-defendant. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. I'm gonna stay the bonds on counts 2 and 3 at the 150.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, did you revoke the out bond?
I don't have an out on bond
Okay.
for Mr. Perez. He has a son, I believe, that was in the case. You may be talking about his son.
Okay.
This is 14885.
Oh, okay, so his son must be a junior, they have the same name.
The son is a co-defendant.
Okay.
If he's in the affidavit, yeah. No, did I sign the court minutes? I'm gonna write. Good morning, tell me your name, please.
Brian Polanco Jiménez. Polanco.
Brian Polanco Jimenez.
Sir, you're here in 2020 CF 14874AO. You were arrested for possession of alprazolam. There is probable cause for the offense. I will appoint the public defender in all of your cases. In that case, you're not to possess drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000. 2020 MM 8908. It's a resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause. And the bond will stay at $500. 2020 CT 7843. It's a driving under the influence. There is probable cause. You're not to possess or consume drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at $500. You're in pretrial diversion on an out on release case. I'm not going to take any action on that today. That doesn't mean that that won't get revoked at another day or that you won't get removed from that program. All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Raymond Efraín Aponte. Efraín Aponte.
Raymond Efraín Aponte.
You're here in case number 2015 CF 2526AO. It's a violation of probation. The judge did set the bond at none. Are you hiring your own attorney, Mr. Aponte?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, you'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I have the case number again, please?
Sure.
When I go to see the judge head, please.
2015 CF 2526AO.
Thank you.
¿Cuándo es que tengo la fecha para ver el juez Whitehead?
When do I have a date to see Judge Whitehead?
You'll see him for an arraignment in a couple of days. I don't know. You'll need to contact an attorney, but you'll see him in a couple days. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Henry Ruiz. Ruiz.
Henry Ruiz.
Sir, you're here in 2008 CT 17322 AO. You failed to appear for an arraignment. You're charged with driving with license revoked. And I will appoint the public defender. Did you want to try to resolve that today, Mr. Ruiz?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing on the driving record that he has a prior conviction on May 14, 2019. There are no other convictions that would qualify for any enhancement or habitual traffic offender since 2014. So, Ms. Bush, did you have an offer to resolve the case? Are you on probation, Mr. Ruiz? Anywhere?
No. No.
No.
Yes, Your Honor, it would be an adjudication of guilt. Don't drive without a valid driver's license and credit for time served. I don't know what that is. 4 days.
4 days? Okay, so this would be an adjudication of guilt, credit for 4 days time served. And you can't drive without a valid driver's license. I do have to advise you that this is strike one. If you get 3 within a 5-year period, you'll lose your license for 5 years. If you get another one, the state could file as a felony. Do you understand?
Sí.
Yes.
Still want to accept the offer, knowing that?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you read the plea form?
Sí. Sí.
Yes.
Did you understand everything on the plea form?
Sí.
Yeah.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, there is a factual basis in the court file to accept your plea. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days with credit for 4 days time served. Don't drive without a valid driver's license. Pay your court costs by December 18th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. He has a hold for Lake County?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
does he have a bond on that?
It's for 2,000.
How many?
2,000?
2,000, and you have a $2,000 bond on a Lake County case, okay? So you would have to pay that to get out of jail as well. All right? Thank you, sir.
Sí.
Yes.
Thanks. Oh, my arms aren't long enough. All right, and I think that's it for the Spanish. I don't, Ms. Bush, do you know if anybody out there needed an interpreter?
No, no one did.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Madam
you.
Interpreter. Have a great weekend
You-
and holiday.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Thank you. You do the same, Your Honor.
We're probably gonna have to call back later this afternoon for another one, but it's the afternoon.
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Good morning. My name is Janice.
Moya.
Mr. Moy, you're here. This was reset from yesterday, based on the request that you wanted to have the victim notified to be here because they were unable to get in touch with her. 2020 CF 14771AO. You're charged by warrant with burglary with an assault or battery, aggravated battery on a pregnant person, grand theft, and tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement. And I think I appointed the public defender yesterday for you. I did. Okay. And good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Were you sworn in earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then just get a little closer to the microphone for me because it's really hard to hear and I need to be able to hear what you're saying, okay? Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
My name is Jamise Wright, and my last name is spelled W-R-I-G-H-T.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wright. Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. And before I do, did the court receive
I
the documentation the state
I
sent?
did. I received the victim's handwritten sworn statement as well as photographs of injuries.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
And defense counsel also received the same
Okay.
documentation. Good morning, Ms. Wright.
Good morning, Ms. Bush.
What is your relationship with Mr. Moy?
We're in an intimate relationship.
I'm sorry?
We're in an intimate relationship.
And Ms. Wright,
Yes,
how long have you been in that relationship?
5 months.
Over the course of the 5 months, has there been any prior violence in your relationship?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of Mr. Moy?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with Mr. Moy while this case is pending?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any concerns for the safety of your unborn child if Mr. Moy has contact with you?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any concerns that any violent contact could endanger your unborn child?
No, ma'am.
Do you believe that alcohol or any kind of controlled substance contributed to Mr. Moy's behavior?
No, ma'am.
If something like this were to occur again, would you again contact law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Thompson?
You want to say something, Your Honor?
Yes,
Well, I'm giving you the opportunity to ask her any questions before she talks to me, so.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Wright, do you and Mr. Moyer live together?
Yes, sir.
Where this alleged incident was supposed to happen, you guys were living together.
Yes, sir.
So he was allowed to be there.
Yes, sir.
So he was not a trespasser.
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, so in your sworn statement, when you say that he broke into your house, does he have a different residence?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, based on...
She's also listed an address at the his address. He does not stay at my house. He does not have a key. His last known address was the 3478 Hancock.
I never wrote that in the statement. I wrote that address on there? No. I didn't write it in that statement.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
But in his vehicle, there was a key to my house. He did have a key to my house.
All right. Mr. Thompson, this is a punishable by life felony.
We'll be holding the state to their burden, Your
Okay?
Honor.
Ms. Bush?
Your Honor, based on the facts that are contained within the affidavit to issue the arrest warrant, those facts primarily derive from statements made by Ms. Wright, and based on the facts contained within her 3-page handwritten statement, which is also sworn to, the state would ask the court to find that proof is evident or presumption is great that Mr. Moy did commit a burglary and did commit an assault or battery therein when he entered Ms. Wright's home and then proceeded to batter her. The state would ask that the court hold him at no bond as to count 1, burglary with an assault or battery therein. The state would also add that the court should take into consideration the 7 photos that were provided along with the documentation.
Mr. Thompson?
Your Honor, the defense will ask the court not to find proof of the presumption great. First, I would like to address the 4 corners of the arrest affidavit, then the alleged victim's testimony today. First of all, there are injuries present, but there's no independent witness to corroborate the alleged victim's claims that my client actually inflicted the injuries. My client was not found in the immediate vicinity, despite claims that he fled on foot. K-9 officers were issued on the scene, and scent sniffing dogs were, they canvassed the area. My client was not found in the area. There's no independent witnesses to corroborate that my client drove the vehicle that was recovered from the scene of the altercation. The car was not registered to my client. There's no tangible evidence to suggest that my client was even in possession of the vehicle outside any statement by the alleged victim. There's no reports that law enforcement witnessed forced entry at the dwelling, even though that we do have a picture, but in the rest of the affidavit, I don't believe that the police officer said that he saw forced
It says they took photos of the victim's injuries.
No, forced entry.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Yeah.
said injuries.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear with
I'm sorry,
all
yeah.
the gear. Yeah.
Yeah, in the four corners of the rest of the affidavit, I don't believe the police officer says that he witnessed forced entries to the dwelling, even though we do have a picture of what appears to be a window. There's no tangible evidence linking my client to inside of the dwelling other than the alleged victim's testimony. There's no eyewitness seeing my client enter or exit the dwelling. Other than the alleged victim's claims, there's no evidence to suggest where these injuries were inflicted. Now, as to the alleged victim's testimony today, in order for this to be burglary with an assault with battery therein, my client would have to be a trespasser at the dwelling. The alleged victim, this is the state's witness, the alleged victim testifies today that they lived together, so at that particular time, my client would not be a trespasser, making it a burglary, Your Honor. As to her alleged statements that she written in the sworn victim statement, the alleged victim stated in open court today that she did not write some of those things. There's conflicting statements here. The defense will argue that reasonable doubt is in serious question at this time, and with all the evidence presented to the court, even with the alleged victim statement, I do not see how the state could meet the higher burden of proof evidence presumption grade, and I'll ask the court not to find it.
Okay. So at some point, I have to make a credibility determination. I do believe that Ms. Wright wrote the statement. She's saying that she didn't write it, but I believe that she wrote it. There's photographs of injuries. Whether or not he lives there or doesn't live there, I guess that's to be determined at a later date. It indicates that he told pretrial that they lived together, but he provided an alternative address as his main address. So he may be staying there. I don't know. I guess there is some reasonable doubt here as to count one based on her conflicting statements to law enforcement and then today to the court. So I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Mr. Moy, do you understand everything on it?
Yes, I haven't. Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you understand everything on it. If you violate that order, it's a new law violation. You could be held at no bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. If you have belongings at the residence, you can go one time with law enforcement to get those belongings, but you must be with law enforcement. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition in the at all whatsoever. If you have any weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, you must surrender them within 6 hours of any release from the jail. Your bond on count one will be set at $100,000. Count two will be $10,000. Count three will remain at $5,000, and count four will be set at $150,000.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a moment.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Well, let's just wait till Mr. Thompson gets back and then we'll deal with Mr. Reddick's case. All right, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Reddick, it was a reset from yesterday for probable cause on count 1 and 2, and he's medical. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, I'll waive his appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, and did you receive the supplemental probable cause from Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I have reviewed that. 2020 CF 14880AO, and this was reset for PC on count 1 and 2. I reviewed the additional supplemental information. I do find that there's probable cause for count 1 and 2. I previously found probable cause for 3 through 9 and set conditions of release.
Me and the state have stipulated to bonds on count 1 and 2.
Okay,
Count 1 would be $500,000, and count 2 would be $50,000.
okay. So I will set the bond at 500,000 on count 1. Count 2, I previously stayed at the 50,000. It will remain at the 50,000. The same conditions of release. So I don't know if Madam Clerk needs me to repeat those, but there no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any witness, no weapons or firearms, or any ammunition. All right. Tell me your name, please.
Tyrese B.
Mr. B, you're here in 2020 CF 14920AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for battery on a pregnant person, kidnapping, and battery domestic violence. And I will appoint the public defender. Mr. Thompson and Ms. Bush, count 2 is a punishable by life felony.
And I apologize, Your Honor. The state was unable to find the affidavit to issue the warrant. I apologize for
Okay, well,
just letting the court know. I don't know if Mr.
I was about to say, I was unable to locate it as well.
Okay,
Your Honor.
well, if y'all let us know in advance, we can get you a copy of it, but let's see if Madam Clerk can pull it up. I've written on mine, so.
Yes, Your Honor. I could not find it in the clerk system.
Right, but if you let us know, then we can get that printed for you and provided to you before court.
And, yes, Your Honor.
All right, maybe Denitza can, because I have a copy of it, so can you just call Denitza and see if she has a copy? She might have had to call law enforcement, but see if she can make 2 copies of it for Ms. Bush and Mr. Thompson.
And, Your Honor, if
We'll
we
have to
could-
recall Mr. B.
if we could recall him at the end of the session. Thank you.
Tell me your name.
Joshua Allen Bruner.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 CF 13609AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for false imprisonment and battery domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. You're not to possess or consume drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Your bond on count 1 is 5,000, count 2 is 100.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
You said 5,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tell me your name.
DeMarcus Demond Hill.
Mr. Hill, you're here in 2020 CF 14681. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated stalking with a credible threat, dating violence, and false 911 calls exceeding $100. And I will appoint the public defender in that case. You also have a violation of probation in 2017 CF 9504AO. That bond is set at none, and I'll appoint the public defender. You'll see Judge Whitehead on the VOP in a couple of days. In the domestic case, you're to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim or anyone in the victim's family. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Did you read everything and understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am. So a quick question, Judge. So is everything clear with that case? With with this case, like the charges?
I don't understand the question. Is everything clear?
Yeah, with this domestic case.
You've been
like,
arrested, so you have charges
pending.
that are pending, and you have, Mr. Tom, I'm not really sure what he's trying to ask me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So again, no contact of any kind with the victim, that's directly or indirectly, or with the victim's family. On the warrant, Judge Yancevich put no return within 1,000 feet of the victim's home. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. If you have any weapons or firearms or any ammunition, you're to surrender them within 6 hours of release from the jail. Your bond will stay on count 2 at the 2,000. Your bond on count 1 is set at 10,000. You're out on bond in 2020 CF 166980. I am revoking the bond, setting that at none at this time. And I'll appoint the public defender if you don't already have them in that case. Thank you, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Janice Lipscomb.
All right, ma'am, you're here in 2020 CF 14902. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon and battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. If you need to do so, you must be with law enforcement. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Your bond on count 1 is set at 2,500. Count 2 is 100.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Kevin Alexander Clayton.
Clayton?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. You're here in 2020 MM 8620AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for battery dating violence. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Did you understand everything on it, Mr. Clayton?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. Do you have belongings there?
I could have somebody get him.
Okay. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition.
Okay.
All right, your bond is set at 1,500. You're out on bond for battery, 2020 MM 2440AO. I am revoking the bond, setting that bond at none at this time. And I think you have the public defender in that case. They're gonna have to file a motion to set bond for you in that matter. Thank you, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Sierra Francis.
Ms. Francis, you're here in 2020 MM 8924AO. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause for that offense. I'll appoint the public defender. Good morning.
Good morning.
Were you sworn in earlier?
Yes.
Okay, and just talk really loud and in the microphone for me. Tell me your name and spell your last name, please.
Prestina, Francis.
Christina is your first name?
Prestina, my first name. Francis, my last name.
Okay. And Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Francis.
Morning.
What is your relationship with Sierra Francis?
That's my wife.
And how long have you been in a relationship?
About 3 years.
Are you afraid of Ms. Francis?
No.
Do you want to have contact with her during the pendency of the case?
Yes.
Who lives in the home with you?
We live together.
Yes, who lives in, is just the two of you?
Yes.
Do you believe that alcohol or any kind of controlled substance contributed to her behavior?
She has a mental illness.
I'm sorry?
She has a mental illness
Okay.
that provoked.
Is she on medication for it?
Yes.
Do you believe that her not taking her medication might have contributed to her behavior?
Yes.
If something like this were to happen again and you felt threatened, would you be comfortable calling law enforcement?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Thompson.
No questions, Your Honor.
Look, she's out on bond for ag assault with a deadly weapon and ag bat with a deadly weapon and battery, and these are domestic violence cases. Ms. Francis, are you the victim in that case?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like she saw Judge Young, and Judge Young ordered her to obtain a mental health evaluation within 30 days of release,
Yes.
follow any recommended treatment, and take all prescribed medication.
Yes.
Did she do that?
Yes, we went to the doctor to get her evaluated, but they said that they was going to use her other evaluation because it was less than a year. So we waiting on doctor's appointment as we speak.
Is she, but I think you said she's not taking her meds?
I don't think she's taking her meds, but I'm not gonna lie. 2 days ago we got into it. She left to prevent, us fighting. And yesterday I found her, and I could have provoked her, knowing that she has an issue. So she left. I went looking for her and I found her. That's why I'm here.
Because Judge Young, he ordered no hostile contact at that hearing. It looks as though things are escalating a little bit.
Yeah, I provoked that. I
Huh?
admit that. I admit that I provoked that.
I can't hear you, ma'am.
I provoked her. I admit that I provoked her.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, because of what's happening, and she's got this other case, and it appears as though that this is a volatile situation regardless of who's provoking, I'm gonna order no contact today, okay?
Your Honor,
I'm not gonna change that based on the facts of the alleged case, as well as what happened in the other case. I've read that as well, okay?
It's a
That's been
possibility.
filed on it. It's been filed on too.
she could be pregnant. I need to know, like, everything. Like, we've been going to doctors.
Well, if you need to have contact with her, or you want to have contact with her, and she wants to have contact with you, her attorneys are gonna have to file a motion to modify
All
that
right.
no contact order. So, Ms. Francis, I am gonna order no contact today. I'm gonna have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on it?
Yes.
Okay. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You can return one time with law enforcement to get your things if you need to do so. You're to take all medications as prescribed by your doctor, as well as comply with the prior order by Judge Young in 2020 CF 7928BO. I am setting the bond on the battery at the 2,500. I'm not gonna revoke the release today in the other case. You do have a court date coming up on the 5th. You're represented by Mr. Self. Keep in touch with Mr. Self. If you wanna have contact with your wife, you're gonna have to have him file a motion to modify the no contact order, okay?
I don't have his number. I don't even know who he is.
Okay, I can get you his number.
Okay.
Okay? It says Mr. Self, but then I'm not sure if it actually is, so let me see. It says the PD, but pretrial wrote Mr. Self, so let me see. All right, I guess it was consolidated and then he was, I think, appointed. So let me get you his number. All right, so it looks like the PD was first appointed, and then conflict counsel was appointed, and then they withdrew, and then Mr. Self was appointed. So that's your attorney on the other case, okay?
Okay.
The public defender may have to withdraw as well from this one, I'm not sure. So just keep in touch with the public defender and Mr. Self, okay?
Okay.
And they can file a motion to modify that and have a hearing in front of the judge, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Francis, good luck. Good morning, tell me your name.
Ronald Derrick Hamby.
All right, Mr. Hamby, we're gonna call Mr. Hyman. I guess you hired Mr. Hyman or somebody hired Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need Mr. Hyman's phone number? Okay. Good morning. Mr. Hyman, are you there? This is Judge Wish.
I am. How are you?
Hi. It's hard to hear you, Mr. Hyman. It's your.
Is it?
I
Can
need
you
you to
hear me?
yell for me.
I'll yell. Can you hear me now?
Hardly.
Hardly. You want to try calling back? Maybe it was just a different bad connection or something.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Is there a different number we can call?
Yeah, 407 896
896.
05. Actually, 407
407
782
782
9916.
9916.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if that works better because it's really hard to hear you.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll try. All right, take two. Is Mr. Hyman, are you there?
I'm hoping you can hear me now.
I can. It's much better. Thank you. All right. And are you entering the case for Mr. Hamby?
A limited notice of appearance for bond purposes right now.
Okay. So, Mr. Hamby, Mr. Hyman is not fully entering into the case, so I just need you to make sure you understand that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, you're here in 2020 MM 8929AO. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. And we do not have a witness present today, so I am going to order that there's no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence, so that means that if she's not there, you can be there. If she's there, you can't be there, okay? But I'm gonna give you a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things.
Okay.
You must be with law enforcement when you go to the residence. You can't go by yourself,
Okay.
okay? You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Mr. Hyman, he does qualify for pretrial release, so I'm gonna place him on pretrial release, okay?
Judge, it might be better if we just can set a bond on this one.
Well, it's just phone in, Mr. Hyman.
Okay.
It's not in person.
Okay. 'Cause
I
he's
mean-
gonna have to move. He has to move far away now because of all this.
Where I have to indicate, where are you gonna go, Mr. Hamby?
To my mother's house.
Where's that?
It's in Longwood.
Oh, okay. You're not leaving the state.
No.
Oh.
He just
Yeah.
is gonna be far away from work and everything.
No, it's phone in,
Okay.
okay?
Right.
Did you want to put anything else on the record?
No, that should do it. He should be, I guess, has he already been in contact with pretrial release?
They've interviewed him and qualified him, so
Okay.
they'll
All right.
they'll
Okay.
process him out and they'll give him the instructions on what he needs to do, but he'll just have to phone in.
Okay, very good.
So, Mr. Hamby, just comply with pretrial and my order. If you don't, it's a new law violation if you violate any no contact order, okay?
Okay.
So, Mr. Hyman or whoever you hire will have to file a motion to modify that if you want to have contact with your wife, okay? Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay.
She's really not in good shape to be by herself.
Okay, but she's not here today to tell
Okay.
me that she wants contact with you.
Okay.
That's something that they'll have to file a
We'll
motion.
we'll work on that afterwards. That's
Okay?
fine.
All right, so
Yep.
just talk to Mr. Hyman, okay? All right, Mr. Hyman, have a great holiday.
All right, you too.
All right,
Have a
thank
good.
you. Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
You don't want to modify them.
But they can be modified,
Yeah, but never. That's not going to happen until
Okay, so, and then we had a co-defendant for Mr. Hammond Williams, but he's medical. The co-defendant, well, I don't need to see him if he's not here, so, but the co-defendant is Jalen Miller. So, but I don't need to see them at this, if they're not coming at the same time, then I don't need to see them. Oh, I thought you said,
Miller's not medical.
no, Hammond, you said Hammond Williams is. Right, I said he had a co-defendant.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't, I don't need to see them at the same time, yeah. All right, so, Mr. Thompson, I'm gonna appoint your office for Mr. Hammond Williams. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's 2020 MM 8944AO. It's battery, dating, violence. There's probable cause. He's not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. Maintain separate residence. May return one time with law enforcement. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. And I'm going to place him on pretrial release. He qualifies. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Good morning. My name is Keontae Hill.
All right, Mr. Hill, you're here in 2020 MM 8943AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Oh, yes, I do understand. I did read over this order
Okay.
before I came in here as well.
You're to maintain a separate residence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I'm placing you in pretrial release, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me your name.
Paula Lessa.
All right, ma'am, you're here in 2020 MM 8938AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on it?
Yes, I do.
You're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons, firearms, or ammunition. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program, okay?
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Tell me your name.
My name is Daniel Moslin.
All right, Mr. Marcelin, you're here in 2020 MM 8941AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order?
Yes.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Comply with any department and children and families investigation that may be pending. And I'm placing you in pretrial release, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Jelon Miller.
Mr. Miller, you're here in 2020 MM 8945. You're arrested for battery, dating, violence. There is probable cause. I don't have a form for the public defender. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney?
No, I plan on representing myself.
Okay, you'll have to talk about that with the judge downtown. So I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order?
I I'm confused because all my stuff is there and we live
Okay.
together.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go back. You're gonna order that you maintain a separate residence. You can, if the victim is present, I know you are both co-defendants. So I don't get involved in real estate and who lives where, but I'll give you an opportunity to go with law enforcement back to the residence. If they've left and moved out, then you can be there. If they're there, then you can't be there, okay?
Yes.
So maintain separate residence, return one time with law enforcement, no weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, and I'm placing you on pretrial release.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing. What you
I'm placing you on pretrial release.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Charles Ragland.
Mr. Ragland, you're here in 2020 MM 8933. It's an assault, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Maintain separate residences. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings if you need to do so. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. All right, the bond is $1,500. Mr. Ragland, you were just here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I am revoking your bond. 2020 CF 14140AO.
Your Honor.
I think the PD represents you. They're gonna have to file a motion for you. If you wanna say something, I wouldn't say it on the record. I would
Yes,
talk to
ma'am.
Mr. Thompson about it.
I don't.
Burglary
That's the one you revoked.
and resisting.
Hey, Your Honor, Your Honor, I have a job, Your Honor, I work every day, Your Honor. I didn't do anything last night, Your Honor. I
Okay,
kept
well,
telling
I
you.
would be careful what you say you did
Yes,
or didn't
yes,
do.
ma'am, I understand
But
that.
when you're out on release, and if a judge finds probable cause that you've committed a new law offense, I can revoke the release.
Yes, ma'am, I
And you were
understand.
just here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
and you're out on bond for burglary.
And-
So I am.
Ma'am, and that's what I tried to explain
you
to the
can talk-
officers last
You can talk
night.
to the judge in the division that case is filed in, and your attorneys can file a motion, and the judge can decide what a reasonable bond would be if they want to release you on bond.
But Your Honor, I have a job. I work every day, Your Honor. And I didn't do
understand.
anything last night, Your Honor. I didn't do no hitting. I didn't do no
Mr.
nothing.
Ragland, if you have a defense, talk to your attorney about it.
How you doing?
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Oh, Jose Rivera Jr.
I'm sorry.
Jose Rivera Jr.
Mr. Rivera, you're here in 2017 MM 1124780. The state did file an information charging you with an assault domestic violence. This was back in May of 2017.
Yeah, there was two prior to. There
I
was
don't
two.
want you to talk about the facts of it, okay? I'm
Okay,
gonna appoint-
no,
Did you
that's
fill out a form for the public defender?
no. I don't need a public defender, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no
I'm not signing
contact
that,
order. Do you understand everything on the order?
I read it, but ma'am, this case has been it's been 2-3 years already.
Okay, well, the victim's not present to tell me that they want
Oh,
contact
okay,
with you,
okay.
and I'm pursuant to the
Okay.
statute, I have to order no
No problem,
contact.
ma'am, no problem.
If you want that modified, you'll have to have an attorney
But-
file a motion, so
But-
that's, you'll
Hold
have
on,
to
but
hire an
I don't want to sign
attorney.
nothing until, I mean, you need, why the person's not here today? I wouldn't, I'm just asking a question, ma'am. Is it,
They're not here.
Okay,
So
so-
they would have to testify, and I would have to determine that their testimony would give me reason to believe that they're not in harm or in
Okay.
fear for their safety
Okay.
for me to order contact. They're not here. I have to order, even if you don't sign that,
I'll sign it, I'll
the
sign it.
law is that you can't have contact.
no, I haven't contact, yeah, okay.
You can't have contact
I
with
haven't,
her,
haven't, no.
directly or indirectly.
Yeah, I haven't, not at
Do
all.
you understand everything on the no contact
Yes,
order?
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Does he not qualify for pretrial?
He didn't provide us any information at all. As I'm looking in the IMS, there's no information.
I mean, there was two more cases that were dropped, and I want this one dropped immediately. I want to be freed,
Okay,
ma'am.
the bond is set at
Please.
500 or pretrial release if he is qualified.
I need a
All right,
lawyer.
I don't drop charges, Mr. Rivera. That's
Yeah.
the state attorney's office.
But,
You'll have to have
okay,
your
ma'am, but I
attorney
should be freed,
contact
ma'am.
them.
I should be freed. I
You'll
should
have
be
to have
freed,
your
okay?
attorney contact them, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Angelo Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here in 2020 MM 8926AO. You're arrested for dating violence battery. There's probable cause. Are you hiring your own attorney?
No, ma'am. I'd like to speak for myself.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't do that today. And we have a
Okay.
victim present. Were you sworn in, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Devika Maraj, M-A-R-A-J.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
Devika Maraj, M-A-R-A-J.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mirage. And Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Mirage.
Good morning.
What is your relationship with Mr. Rodriguez?
He's my boyfriend.
Do you all live together?
Yes, we do.
Are you afraid of him?
No, I'm not.
How long have you been in a relationship?
2 years and 2 months.
Over the course of those 2+ years, has there been prior violence, whether or not it was reported?
No, ma'am.
And do you believe that alcohol or any kind of controlled substance might have contributed to his behavior?
No, ma'am, but he's been stressed for the past few weeks, so I believe that had an impact on him because we're actually going through a financial crisis.
Okay.
I can't hear.
So let me just repeat what you said so that the judge can hear. Did you say that he has been stressed for the last few weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you say that you all are going through a financial crisis and you believe that that's what may have precipitated this event?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Would you feel safe if he's allowed to return home?
Yes, ma'am.
If something like this were to happen again, regardless of the underlying cause, and you felt that you were in danger, would you be comfortable calling law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you, ma'am. It's indicated in the affidavit that you told law enforcement that there is a history of domestic violence, but it has not been reported. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. We've argued before, just aggressively.
I can't hear. You're gonna have to talk louder, ma'am.
No, we've just argued before.
Okay, so nothing physical?
No.
This is the first time?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you can have non-hostile, non-violent contact with Ms. Mirage. Do you understand that that's no pushing, shoving, grabbing, biting, kicking, getting in her face, saying mean things to her, being disrespectful?
Of course.
Okay. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I do not hit anyone.
You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition.
He could qualify for
Okay,
pretrial.
I didn't see why he wouldn't, and I'm gonna place you on pretrial release. Thank you, ma'am.
no evidence that I hit anyone.
Tell me your name.
Clarence Springs, Your Honor.
Mr. Springs, you're here in 2020 MM 8949AO. You're arrested for battery, domestic violence, criminal mischief between 200 and 1,000, and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you
Yes, ma'am.
understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, and I'm placing you on pretrial release.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Tell me your name, please.
Calson Toussaint.
Mr. Toussaint, you're here in 2020 MM 1022AW. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return back, you can go one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm placing you in pretrial release.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Clarence Willer.
Mr. Wheeler, you're here in 2020 MM 8928AO. You're arrested for battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Comply with any DCF investigation that may be pending. And I'm placing you in pretrial release, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Morning. Robert Caputo.
Mr. Caputo, you're here in 2020 CT 7862AO. You're arrested for driving under the influence. There is probable cause. Were you going to hire your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay at $500.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. Oh.
Grady refused, Your Honor.
Christoffel? I have Heather.
Bun.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Grady refused. Okay.
Mr. Grady refused. I'll find his refusal to be a waiver. Does he already have the public defender? 2020 CT 74918. It's a failure to appear. All right. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent him. He has a $2,000 bond. All right. Are you Avery Odoms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Odoms, you're here in 2020 CT 7844AO. You're charged with no valid driver's license. There is probable cause. Do you want to try to resolve this case today?
The officer, he said that because I was in the process of getting my license, he said that once I got my license, that everything would be dropped because I go to take the test on December 26th. I meant not December, on
Okay,
December.
I don't know, officer can't give you legal advice, and officer doesn't know what the state attorney's office is gonna do. You have 2 no valid driver's licenses, you're out on bond for 1, and then you pick this one up. So, I don't know if you wanted to try to resolve those today. If not, you do have a $500 bond that I would stay. I wouldn't revoke your bond, but I don't know what the state attorney's office is gonna do. Ms. Bush, do you have an offer for him to
Your
resolve the
Honor,
cases?
I can make an offer on both
Okay.
matters. And on the out on release case in 2020 CT 2389AO, that would be a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, don't drive 3 days, and 3 days credit time served, don't drive without a valid driver's license, and court costs. In today's case, 2020 CT 7844AO, it would be an adjudication of guilt, 2 days, Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, don't drive without a valid driver's license, and court costs.
Okay, so you filled out a form for the public defender. I'm gonna appoint them to represent you. Mr. Thompson, I see you're already talking, so,
Yeah, he says he wants to pay the bond.
okay.
He says
So,
already.
okay, all right, well, let me let you know, Mr. Odoms, you're gonna be out on bond for 2 cases, okay?
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
pick up another one and you get caught driving again without a valid driver's license or anything else, chances are you come back here, it's not gonna be a good day. You're probably gonna get your bonds revoked,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Do you understand?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
cannot drive without a valid driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that bond will stay at 500. I'm not taking any action on the other case. All right?
Thank you.
Sean Whitney.
He's medical, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Thompson, do we know, is the PD appointed already in Mr. Whitney's case? 2020 CT 7464? No, I'll appoint the public defender, and he has a $100 bond for failing to appear. Mr. Thompson, did you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor, wait.
All right, and Ms. Bush, just let me know when you're ready. I know we have a long list today, so
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll just be signing some paperwork.
Judge, are we gonna do this to be on second session or at the end of this session?
Mr. B? Yeah, second, because there's an affidavit that, it's not like a warrant.
Your Honor, I only have 4 PD clients for the 33-day list. Am I correct?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm showing 11. I don't know. I don't know what you have. The list gets emailed out, right? I mean, I'm not on the list, so I don't know, but Ms. Bush, do you have 11?
I'm checking that right now.
Okay, I have 11 on my list. I don't make the list, so I don't know.
All right.
Does corrections have 11 PD on their ROR?
I have 10, Your Honor.
And I have 11 orders
I have 10.
from the PD.
We have 10.
Huh?
10 plus
We
the
have
add-on.
10.
You have
Okay.
one add-on.
I have 11 plus an add-on. And I have 11 orders, so I don't know. So, Mr. Thompson, Denitza just sent me an email that I don't know who A. Morse is. Is that your assistant?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think I
She
found
sent an add-on ROR list
I found
at 3:29 p.m.
Okay, I think I
on
found
the
it.
17th. You
Alright.
got everything?
Yeah, I think I found
Okay,
it,
all right. Because she just forwarded that to me. I don't get these emails, so I don't know.
another 2 minutes, Your Honor. This date's ready, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we are back on the record for second session. This is Judge Wish. It's December 18th, 2020. Can I have the parties announce themselves for the record, please?
Good afternoon. Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
Jace Thompson on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Tyrese B.
All right, Mr. B, you're here in 2020 CF 14920AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for battery on a pregnant person, kidnapping, and battery domestic violence. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. Good morning or good afternoon, ma'am. Can I have you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and thank you. Keep your mask on and then just talk directly into the microphone for me. You can put your hand down now. Ms. Bush, did you wish to, do you want to tell me your name and spell your last name?
Jasmine Sierra, Sierra.
Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Sierra. What is your relationship with Mr. B?
That is my boyfriend and the father of my child.
The child that you're carrying
Right now.
right now? And how long have you been in a relationship with him?
It's going on 3.5 years.
Are you afraid of Mr. B?
No, I am not.
While this case is pending, do you want to have contact with Mr. B?
Yes, please.
Do you have any concerns about the safety of your unborn child when your body encounters a violent act?
No, ma'am.
In the 3.5 years, has there ever been any violence in which you were the victim, whether it was reported or not reported?
We had gotten into a verbal argument at a DMV before. He was taken into custody, but the charges were dropped because it was like, you know, he didn't do anything. He didn't put his hands on me or anything like that. It was just a verbal argument.
Okay, are you speaking of the 2 instances in Osceola County where he was arrested?
I'm just talking about the one incident that happened in, I believe, Polk, because he was held in Bartow at the time.
Okay, so you're talking about one that happened in Polk. Do you recall one happening in Osceola County?
No, ma'am.
But in the Polk County instance, you were the victim, listed victim, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The person that reported it said that I was getting basically hands put on me and stuff like that, but even when they took him
Yes,
to...
ma'am, I'm not asking about the details.
Okay.
I'm just asking, were you the listed victim?
Yes, I was a listed victim.
And you were pregnant at the time then, is that correct?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I do not know. I found out I was pregnant at about 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay. And if he is allowed to have contact with you, and something like this instance, the Polk County instance, and you don't recall the Osceola County instance, and you were in physical danger, or you believed you would be, or that your unborn child would be, would you call law enforcement?
If I needed to, yes, but I don't think it would ever be necessary. He's not that type of person, ma'am.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Thompson?
Ma'am, did my client kidnap you?
No, sir.
Did he ever force you into a car against your will?
No, he helped me into the car because I am pregnant.
I'm
Yep,
sorry,
you-
I can't hear her answer.
Could you repeat that?
Yes. No, he did not force me into the car. He helped me into the car due to the fact that I am pregnant.
He helped you into the car due to the fact that you're pregnant?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, so count 2 is a punishable by life felony.
And Your Honor, the state is not making
Okay.
an argument.
Okay, so,
The state would ask the court, when deciding on bond, to take into well, I take that back, there is no criminal history for arrest or anything else.
well, there's 2 cases where she's the listed victim, one in Polk and one in Osceola County.
Your Honor.
One is a child abuse incident where she went to the hospital, and hospital officials were concerned for her safety and
Yes, Your
reported it, and she's underage at the time.
I was just looking at the information sheet and stopped.
Okay, so Mr., and as it relates to bond, did you want to, you started to get into that, Ms. Bush, so
Yes, Your
I didn't
Honor,
know.
and
if
I
you-
just wanted the court to take into consideration those prior events as it relates to bond.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, did you want to be heard as to bond, or?
Your Honor, given the fact that she is an alleged victim in a prior scenario, no contact order could be issued to ensure her safety. But as to bond, I would like to point out to the court that my client's 18 years old. He has no criminal history, no juvenile history. I would ask the court to set bond on the lower end of the scale, Your Honor.
Well, I don't know what that means, Mr. Thompson. What's the scale, and what does that mean? Like, Ms. Bush didn't give me a number, you're not giving me a number, so I'm just gonna come up with a number.
Well, actually, I would ask not to find probable cause for kidnapping.
Well, there is probable cause, it's a warrant.
All right. For
I
the
can't,
kidnap-
and there was a witness who witnessed what happened and called the police, so I mean, I can't readdress probable cause.
All right.
Whether she has, she might be saying, that's your reasonable doubt, based on her testimony, so state's not asking me to make a finding of proof evident, but I can't readdress probable cause.
With kidnapping being the most serious, I would ask you set bond in amount of $5,000 for kidnapping, $1,000 for the aggravated battery on the pregnant person. I believe that's $2,500, and for the battery, $500, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, if the state may be heard, I didn't understand. I was just asking you to take into consideration because I didn't know whether or not you knew those other facts. The state would like to make a recommendation to the court. The state would make a recommendation as to count 1 of $7,500, as to count 2, $5,000, count 3, $100.
Okay, So first, Mr. B, you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim or any witnesses in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. If you want to have that modified, the public defender will have to file a motion in the division.
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond on count 1 will be $7,500. Count 2, I will put at $5,000. Count 3 is $100. All right, make sure you comply with the court order. If you come back and you violate, you could be held at no bond. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, this is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line, already sworn in today.
All right, thank you. And this is Judge Wish. We are in BRC 1, and they are bringing the defendant in. He's not yet at the podium yet. Sorry.
Okay, great, thank you. Not a problem.
All right, he is in the room, and they're gonna put the headphones on him. So just let me know when you've made contact.
One moment, Your Honor. He doesn't seem to be hearing the interpreter. Let me try another number.
Can he hear you? I heard you over the loudspeaker. Oh, okay. I can't hear anything with this.
Yes,
Okay.
he can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Robert Toro. Robert Toro. Yes.
Robert Toro.
Mr. Toro, if you are going to request the interpreter, you're going to have to speak in Spanish and wait for the interpreter to interpret
so-
and respond in Spanish. If you're not going to do that, I'm not going to utilize the interpreter.
Sí.
Yes.
All right, you were arrested in 2020 CF 14910AO. You were arrested for possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver, possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia, and destruction of evidence. There is probable cause for those offenses, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you in all of your cases. You have a couple of on-view violations of probation as well. 2020 CF, sorry, it's 2015 CF 7434. 20, I don't think I have a case number for that, Madam Clerk. There's two others that there's no case numbers for.
Señora, yo tengo que decirte algo importante.
Do I have to say something important?
Okay. Thank you. All right, and the second is 2014 CF 12040. The third is 2013 CF 8269. There's probable cause for all of the on-view violations of probation. For the new law, you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Your bond on count 1 is $15,000. and counts 2, 3, and 4 are set at 150. The bonds on the on-view violations of probation are set at none at this time. You will see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. If you have any questions, I would ask Mr. Thompson. I don't want you to say anything on the record that you may regret. Okay, sir? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Phillips is bonded, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Gucci is behavior.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna find that if she cannot behave herself to come to court, that is a waiver, and I'll appoint the public defender in 2020 MM 8931AO. She's charged with simple trespass and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. She's not to return back to the victim's residence. She's not to have any contact with the victim or any witnesses, and she's to abide by the trespass warning. I'll stay the bonds as set or pretrial release if she qualifies. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Al-Mustafa Darouche.
Okay, sir, you're here in 2020 MM 8912AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Well, before I do that, was there an offer, Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's an adjudication of guilt, 7 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served. No contact with victim or witnesses. No return to the scene, which is the Wawa at 6500 West Sand Lake Road. Abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
All right, Mr. Darushi, did you want to do that?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I need that. I think I may need some help. Somebody to talk. Okay. Like, what do you call it? I play no contest or guilty. It's the same.
Okay, I
But
mean,
I'm trying to.
there's really no
there is
difference.
no public. I'm sorry. There is no public defender.
I can
Because I'm
appoint
not
a
perfect English. I'm understand, but I'm trying. Like, I ask for translator. They start laughing on me. So I said I do it by myself.
Well, we give everybody a translator if they
Yeah, but they
request
start
it.
laughing on me. I'm not. I can.
Okay, well,
I be
if you
say,
wanted, if
nervous.
you, listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Relax. If you want a translator, I will be happy to get one for you, but you're gonna have to wait till the end of the docket.
No, it's okay.
So, do you want to accept the state's offer? Did you understand what she said?
Can I
can
ask
explain-
question? I heard 7 days or 2 days. So I plead no contest or guilty, so I can just go
Sounds
home.
like you know what you're doing. You know more than most people that walk in the courtroom here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
You sound like you know a little bit more than you're giving yourself credit for. So, do you want to take the 7 days with credit for 2 days? If not, I'll impose the bond that is set.
No,
You
no,
bond
I'm
out,
sorry.
You go back to court.
I'm sorry. Nobody's gonna pay the bond for me. I know.
Okay.
Nobody.
Well, so what do you want to do?
Yeah, I take the offer.
Okay, did you
So
re-
can I
re-
ask question? She said two. So like I have to do another 5 days, right?
I don't know what day you'll get out.
I said 2 days.
Okay, my guess is,
Huh?
can pretrial give me an estimated time? Tuesday? So today is Friday,
Okay. Saturday, Sunday. Monday.
so it's almost the end of the, you're halfway through the day here today. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then you get out Tuesday.
Okay, I did 2 days. So okay, I take the offer.
Okay, were you able to read the plea form?
I can't see, but I know what's in here. I have a bad
That's
eyes.
not working for me.
Yeah,
So
but
we're
it's
gonna
okay.
call
I can.
your-
I
we're gonna call
understand.
your-
I've been in jail before. I'm sorry. I'm not
We're
trying.
gonna call your case at the end. Relax.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Darren Fears.
Mr. Fears, you're here in 2020 MM 8947. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning and resisting an officer without violence. There's probable cause. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication of guilt, 10 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the UCF incubator at 3218 East Colonial Drive in Orlando. No contact with victim or witnesses. Abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
Okay, Mr. Fears, did you want to accept the offer?
Yeah, I accept the offer.
Okay, did you read the plea form?
Say the County of Orange County, Florida, the plea guilty of no contest, criminal charges
I'm
in court
asking if you
county.
read it before you came into court. They
Yeah,
gave you a
yeah, I
bunch-
read it,
they-
yeah.
Okay, did you understand everything on it?
Yeah,
Do you understand the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
yeah,
Are
plead
you
no
on
contest.
probation anywhere?
Excuse me?
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Okay. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Okay, I take the deportation.
You want,
I'm from Las
I'm not-
Vegas area.
I'm not deporting you. I'm telling you that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
I find a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty on each count, sentence you to 10 days with credit for 2 days' time served. Those counts will run concurrent. You can't go back to the UCF incubator at 3218 East Colonial Drive. No contact with victims or witnesses. Abide by the trespass warning. Pay your court costs by December 18th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. Thank you. Fears? Fears? Tell me your name, please.
Craig Hugh Green.
Mr. Green, you're here in 2020 MM 8937AO. You were arrested for resisting an officer without violence and trespass in an occupied structure as a refusal to leave. There's probable cause. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 10 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no contact with victim or witnesses, no return to the scene, the Red Roof Inn, at 8296 South Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando. Abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
Mr. Green, did you want to accept the state's offer?
Plead no content.
You want to plead no contest
No content.
to the state's offer?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yeah. I read a little bit of it.
Well,
Um,
why don't you go back there and read the whole thing? Do you need help?
they said they want to do 7 days.
I need to know whether you read the plea form, not whether you understand the offer.
Yeah, the offer is 7 days.
Yes, but the plea form is what I'm concerned about. Did you read it? You said
Yeah.
you read some of it.
Yeah.
You didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can you read?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, just the correction, it was a 10-day offer.
10-day offer,
With 2 days
credit for 2
credit time
days.
served.
All right,
So that
Mr.
would
Green,
make
you're gonna have to step back there and read the plea form, okay?
I take the offer.
Tell me your name, please.
Tyrone Hines.
Mr. Hines, you're here in 2020 MM 8911AO. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes, it's an adjudication of guilt, 7 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served. No contact with victim or witnesses, no return to any Orlando International Airport property. Abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
Mr. Hines, do you want to do that?
I'll sit for 7 days and time served.
You have 2 days credit for time served, so I guess you would get out on Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay. Did you read-
What's the other option?
The other option is you pay the $500 bond and you go back to court.
I know I go back to court when.
I don't know when you get a court
Okay.
date.
Oh, so when I pay the bond, I go home.
Mhm.
How much is the
I'm not
bond?
gonna
$100, 500.
It's $500 bond.
Okay, and there's a percentage of that.
You're gonna have to call a bondsman.
Okay. What is today?
Mr. Thompson, do you want to help out?
Were we appointed?
Wait, is that
I'm appointing you. You're appointed.
Yeah, I had asked for a public
I've appointed
defender
you.
too. I had asked for a public defender.
I've appointed him.
The bond.
No, he has a battery charge. Your
I
Honor.
understand. I'm not gonna do anything with that.
Yeah. You
Well,
know
no,
what?
Just letting him know it was endorsed on him, so he has that bond still to pay.
What the battery bond? I paid that bond already.
The bondsman came off your bond.
Okay, so how much would I have to pay altogether?
It's $1,500 on your battery charge.
All right, 150.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of
All right, Mr. Hines, I'm not gonna sit here all day and have you think about it. So I'm gonna stay the bond at the $500. I'm not taking any action on the other case.
Okay.
You're not to go back to any Greater Orlando Aviation Authority property. Abide by the trespass warning. No contact with victims or witnesses.
Okay.
Not taking any action on your out on bond, but it looks like the bondsman came off the bond, so you'll have to call the bondsman.
Okay.
Coming up. Nothing.
Tell me your name, please. Mr. Lutton, you're here in 2020 MM 8942AO. You're
Yes.
arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes? No, that's it.
Yes, Your Honor, it would be a withhold of adjudication, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and court costs.
All right.
No
Mr.
return to the property at the Realty property at 2544 East Colonial Drive. Abide by all trespass warnings and no contact with any victim or witnesses.
All right, Mr. Lutton, did you understand that?
Pretty much.
Okay, so it's credit for time served, and it won't be a formal adjudication of guilt. It would be a withhold of adjudication. You know, you don't have any priors. So if you do want to fight this, or you want to, I don't know if you'd get a better deal downtown, unless it would be diversion. But if you want to resolve it today, that's what it would be. I would release you on your own recognizance if you want to go back to court for it, and you wouldn't have to pay a bond. So you just let me know what you want to do. You didn't fill out a form for the public defender, but if Mr. Thompson wants to be a friend of the court,
I
or
have that he has one prior misdemeanor.
he has no prior criminal history.
You want to plead this out, or you want to fight it downtown?
I would just soon clear it out if I can do it very recently. I have it.
Alright. I'll give you a credit concept, you'll get out there, and it'll be a withhold, so it won't kind of be a criminal conviction. Well, let's take off for Your Honor, answer a plea of no contest.
Okay. Mr. Lutton, is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay, did you read the plea form?
Well, yes, I scanned it.
Huh?
I looked at it, yes.
Okay, what does that mean? Did you read it?
Yeah, I didn't, know exactly what it said, but that's why I was gonna reread it again.
Okay. Well, we're going to have Mr. Thompson go over a bunch of plea forms with people after we're done with the session. And so maybe he can sit in a circle with you guys and go over it.
Okay?
Okay?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Grab your papers, sir.
Moyes bonded?
Release pre-trial release.
Okay.
Who was that?
Come on, Matt.
All right. Tell me your name. Oh, Mr. Lafferty, you're back.
It's not a new charge. It's just I didn't make it to court.
I know. All right, Mr. Lafferty. You're here in 2020 MM 7414AO. You failed to appear for your court date. The judge did revoke the release and set your bond at $3,000. I can't modify that. Does he have the PD? Okay, you have the public defender. So if you can't make the bond, they're going to have to file a motion with the judge in that division to get you a bond. I'm not going to take any action on your other cases, okay?
All right. So how long do I have to wait? I'm on.
Tell me your name, please.
Tahir Osteen.
All right, Mr. Osteen, you are here in 2019 MM 8593AO. You failed to appear for pretrial conference, and the judge did revoke the release, set your bond at 100. Does he have the PD? Okay, you have the public defender. If you can't bond out, you're gonna have to contact them. They'll file a motion for you. No action on the other case.
Come again, ma'am, about the first case? So I'm not allowed to bond out for
You
the
have
petty
a
theft?
$100 bond.
Okay.
Officer Williams, Can we get a no contact order for defendant Riley Kaplan? We'll need a no contact order for Riley Kaplan, who'll be seen in the felony docket. Okay. Tell me your name.
My name
Can
is-
you put your mask
yes.
on, please?
My name is Calandra Barrett.
All right, Ms. Barrett, you're here in 2020 CF 14896AO. You're arrested for burglary of a structure and criminal mischief. There is probable cause. I don't have a form. Do we have a form for Ms. Barrett? Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
No, I did not.
Okay. Are you going to hire your own attorney?
I would like to represent myself.
Okay, that's something you'll have to talk with the judge in Division 15 about. But at this time, I'm ordering you not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, so you're not to go back to Maxwell Garden Apartments. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness in the case. She does not qualify for pretrial?
She could qualify.
Where are you living, Ms. Barrett?
I stay, if I can return to 4049 South Orange Blossom Trail, I'll be staying with my sister.
Where? Okay, are you working?
I am currently receiving SSI. I do not work.
Okay.
She could qualify, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna place you in pretrial release, Ms. Barrett, okay?
Yes, what does that mean?
You're just gonna have to report to pretrial while you're out on release.
Okay, am I out on release now?
I'm gonna release you to pretrial release, okay?
So
They're
I
gonna-
will be released today?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Yeah. Clark bonded?
Hello.
What's the booking number, Your Honor?
2002-7604.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me your name.
Reuben Curtis.
All right, Mr. Curtis, you're here in 2020 CF 13572. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for dealing in stolen property. It looks like count 1 is violation of a pawnbroker transaction, then count 2 is dealing in stolen property, and count 3 is petty theft. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You're not to return back to any pawn shop or any property on UCF. Not to have any contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. The bond will stay at, well, I'm setting bond at 150 on count 1, 2,500 will stay on count 2, and count 3 will be 100. Tell me your name. Please keep the mask on your face.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Tell me your name.
Oh.
Tell me your name.
Shantira.
What is your last name?
DeVos.
Okay, Ms. DeVos, you're here in 2019 CF 17522AO. You failed to appear for a status hearing on
No, I did that.
October 20th, 2020. The judge did revoke the release and set your conditions of release as if you qualify for pretrial release, you can be released on pretrial or $1,000 bond.
Okay.
And count 2, they're releasing you on your own recognizance. So can she be, have they screened her for the pretrial? Okay.
No, Your
That
Honor.
was on the capias, so.
Okay.
They'll have to screen her for pretrial if she qualifies based on the capias, or you have the $1,000 bond, or the ROR on count, and the ROR on count 2. She have the PD? Okay, you do have the public defender as well.
I do have a public defender. I do have a public defender because I was.
I just told you that you do have the public defender.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, just a matter before we get to it. In the Mercier case, That's further down the docket. That's also a family.
It's not, it's the they live in the same household and it's a baby, he babysat. It's not a, it's familial or custodial,
Yes,
but
Your
it's
Honor.
not a family member.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Good afternoon, tell me your name.
Bree England.
Miss England, you're here in 2020 CF 14918. You're arrested for possession of MDMA. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at $1,000. Tell me your name.
Louis James Ferris.
Mr. Ferris, you're here in 2020 CF 14904AO. You were arrested for trafficking in methamphetamines over 14 grams, possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship with intent to sell or deliver, possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cocaine, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Count 1, it was a bond correction. Should have been set at none pursuant to the admin order. But I will set a bond. So no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, or, I'm sorry, there's no victim, but no co-defendants or witnesses, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition, no return back to where the offense. Are you living, I think that's your residence, so strike the no return, I'm sorry. All right. So your bond on count 1 is $100,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150,000. $150,000 on count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and $100,000 on count 9. All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, the bond correction form was taking it from 0 to 100,000?
No, it went from 100,000 to none, and I set it at 100,000.
Okay, because that was a life felony.
Do you want to
No, Your
heard?
Honor.
Okay.
Well, I was just making sure that I
okay.
heard it right.
Right. I mean, if you want to be heard, we can readdress the case. Okay.
I do not, Your
Okay,
Honor.
all right. Tell me your name.
Kyle Fisher.
Mr. Fisher, you're here in 3 cases, 2020 CF 9325. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for burglary of a structure and resisting an officer without violence. I'm going to appoint the public defender in all your cases. In that case, you're not to return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses. The bonds will stay at $3,500 and $100. 2020 CF 14518AO. It's a warrant for grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle, and driving while license suspended. And you're not to have any contact with any victim or the vehicle owner. No driving without a valid driver's license. That bond will stay at $2,000. I'll reduce count 2 to 100. 2020 CF 3888AO. You failed to appear for a trial management conference, and that bond was revoked and set at none. Does he have the public defender? If not, I appointed them. Okay.
So there's no bond on the FTA?
No, your attorney will have to file a motion with the judge in that division.
All right, thank you.
Tell me your name.
Michelle Fulp.
All right, Ms. Fulp. You're here in 2020 CF 14883AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. There is probable cause based on the warrant. And I don't have a form for the public defender. Do you have, or have you hired an attorney? Oh, okay. Oh, we got one for you. All right, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You can't drive without a valid driver's license. Your bond is set at $5,000.
So that's reduced to, that's reduced to what?
Tell me your name, please.
Latasha Godges.
Ma'am, you're here in 2020 CF 13333AO. It's a violation of pretrial release. The judge did revoke the bond and set the bond at none. Does she have the PD in the case?
Yes.
Okay. You have the public defender. They're going to have to file a motion in front of Judge Young. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Randy Grimes.
Ms. Grimes, you're here in 2020 CF 2259. You were arrested for failing to appear for pretrial conference on December 1st, 2020. The judge did revoke the release and set your bond at none. Does she have the public defender? Okay, you have the public defender. They're going to have to file a motion in Division 16 in front of Judge Barber. Tell me your name.
Kiara Harper.
All right, Ms. Harper, you're here in 2020 CF 6914AO. You failed to appear for arraignment on August 3rd, 2020. The judge did revoke the release, set the bonds at none. I'll appoint the public defender if they haven't previously been appointed because you filled out an affidavit. They'll have to file a motion in front of the judge in that division. Tell me your name, please.
Corey Haveman.
Mr. Haveman, you're here in 2020 CF 14922. You're arrested for driving under the influence or drugs as a third violation within 10 years. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case, as well as in the driving while license suspended in 2020 CT 7861. There's probable cause as well. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at $5,500. Thank you, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Octavius Hayes.
Mr. Hayes, you are here in 2020 CF 9329AO. You failed to appear for an arraignment on November 9th, 2020. The judge did revoke the release and set the bond at none. Does he have the PD in that case? Okay. You filled out a form for the public defender. I'm going to appoint them in all these cases. The out-of-county stuff, we're appointing the PD here for you, okay, in the meantime, before they come get you. But you do have bonds in some of those other cases. You have a $2,000 bond on a Lake County warrant. You have a $2,000 bond on a Columbia County warrant and a $2,000 bond on another Columbia County warrant. But I've appointed the PD so they can help you with your case. You're going to have to... You have to deal with the driving while license suspended as a habitual traffic offender here before they come and get you on the other stuff. If you haven't, you can't get out on that, okay? You're gonna have to have them file a bond motion in Division 19, okay?
So there's no way I could get out today?
They're gonna have to the PD will have to file a bond motion on the Orange County case. You'll have to get a bond in that case. You'll have to bond out. And then you'll be able to bond out on the Columbia County and the Lake County cases, and if you can't, they'll come and get you,
All right.
okay? Tell me your name.
Ryan Hazimi.
All right, Mr. Hazimi, you're here in 2020 CF 1491780. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling and petty theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness. No return to the scene of where the offense is alleged to have occurred, so don't go back to the victim's residence.
Okay.
You're living with your dad?
Yeah, my
Do you
parents.
go to school or
Huh?
do you go to school?
I'm studying for my GED currently, and I have a job interview. Well, it was today, but I'm here in this situation.
All right, well, I'm gonna place you on pretrial release. Don't violate the pretrial release. If you do, you'll be sitting here no bond, okay?
Okay.
Hello, Miss Your Honor. How you doing?
Good, how are you? Are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Hernandez, you're here in 2020 CF 14911AO. You were arrested for battery, child abuse, and assault. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You're not
Yes,
to
ma'am.
have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. No return to the no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, there's 2 counts of battery, I'm sorry. And so there's probable cause for both of those.
Yes,
The bonds
ma'am.
on the battery will stay at $500 on each count. Count 2 will be $1,000. Count 3 will be $100. You're out on bond in
Yes, ma'am.
2020 CF 14077. I am revoking the bond and setting that bond at none. You do have the public defender in that case. They're gonna have to file a bond motion for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
William Hall is medical, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna appoint the public defender for Mr. Hall. Mr. Thompson, do you wanna waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you know this is a punishable by life felony, right?
Yes, and the defense will be reserving the right for the Arthur hearing downtown.
Okay, so 2020 CF 1491380, it's a carjacking, battery, criminal mischief over 1,000, grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle, and kidnapping with the intent to commit a felony. That's the PBL, and there's probable cause. And so, Mr. Thompson, you're gonna reserve the right to an Arthur hearing and have a motion filed in the trial division. On count 5, I'm gonna stay the bonds as set at 20,000, 500, 1,000, 1,000, and none. And then on the 2020 MM 8930, it's a possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of cannabis. There's probable cause. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and the bonds will stay at 500 to 100. Gonna go back to conditions on the felony. No contact with any victim or witness, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, and no return back to where the offense is alleged to have been occurred. And I'm revoking the bond in 2020 CF 2194AO. And does he have the PD in that case? It's not, I'll appoint them. Okay. right, tell me your name.
Deja Hyson Cruz.
All right, you're here in 2020 CF 7538AO. It's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon pursuant to a capias. The state did file an information and probable cause was found for that. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. No weapons, firearms, or ammunition. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond stays at $2,500. And then I've got 2020 MM 8925AO. It's a possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender and I'll ROR on that.
Judge, may I ask, the first with the warrant, I'm honestly completely lost. Will I be provided upon like release or something, information for that? Like, especially when it comes to like victims? Yeah, I have no idea what that's from,
It's
so.
alleged to have occurred on February 10th, 2020. Yeah, we'll print you a copy.
Yeah, I'll need all information on that because I'm completely blank on, and especially the charge itself. So
It's almost a year. It's almost a year ago. So yeah, we'll get you a copy of it.
Yeah, well, okay. That's fine.
Did she not qualify for pretrial?
She could qualify, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll do the $2,500, or if they're able to qualify you for pretrial release. Okay.
Okay, how would I go about that? Or,
They're
okay, thank you.
they've tried to get in contact, I guess, with your emergency contact, and they couldn't verify your community ties, but they might be able to qualify you. Okay, so if they can, I have no objection to that. Okay.
Okay.
But we'll get you a copy.
Is it for me?
If that's the case, we can put her, I'll ROR you on the cannabis, that's fine. Don't worry about the cannabis. All right, tell me your name.
Raleigh Kaplan.
Do we know what happened to Josephat?
Bond, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kaplan, we're gonna call Mr. Webster for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need Mr. Webster's number? I do. Okay. Thank you.
I think they were trying to call you, sir. Oh, he's here, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Webster,
How
we
was
were.
that? That's like perfect timing.
We-
That's like movie
Yeah.
stuff.
We were calling you.
We'd said I was originally going to appear by phone, but then I told my secretary to let you know my other stuff had run early, so.
Oh, I
came
don't
back.
know, maybe my JA sent me an email, but I'm not always checking my email, so happy to see you
It's
here.
good to see everybody as
It's
well.
always easier to do it in person than over the phone.
Absolutely. Can we recall this in about 5 minutes?
Sure,
I've
you
not
want
been
a
able to see
minute
the
to
probable
talk
cause
to Mr.
affidavit yet.
Kaplan? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take your time. We've
right
got
there.
a bunch of other
You
stuff
got it.
going on.
Thanks.
That was like magic.
I timed it perfect, Judge.
You really did.
How are you?
Hey there, how are you? Yeah, I have to print it out because all I get is this. Just a minute.
Hakeem Liggins is behavior, Your Honor.
Okay, so if he can't behave himself to come to court, I'm gonna find that to be a waiver and appoint the public defender in both the cases. Mr. Liggins was arrested in 2020 CF 603280. He failed to appear for a KPS status hearing. On December 3rd, 2020, the judge did revoke the bond and set the bond at none. Does he have the PD already? Okay, because I appointed them on that one. And then 2020 MM 89350, it's a battery. I do find that there's probable cause. He's not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, no return to the scene, and comply with any DCF investigation. That bond will stay at the 500. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
My name is Jordani Musier.
All right, sir. You're here in 2019 CF 17586. You were arrested pursuant to a capias. The state did file an information and a judge did find probable cause for sexual battery with a child between the age of 12 and 18 and a familial or custodial authority. And counts 2 and 3 are lewd or lascivious molestation. Count 4 is lewd or lascivious conduct. And I don't have, do we have a form for did you fill out a public defender form, sir?
No.
No? Are you gonna hire your own attorney?
Yes.
Okay, have you spoken with an attorney?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. So let me explain to you that count 1 is a punishable by life felony. And that means that I can hold you at no bond if the state shows or proves to the court that there's proof evident or presumption great, which is a legal standard higher than beyond a reasonable doubt, which is what would need to be proven to a jury. Do you want me to temporarily appoint the public defender to talk to you about that right now so that you understand more about what's happening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll temporarily appoint the public defender. Mr. Thompson, do you want to talk with Mr.?
It's not necessary, Your Honor. Me and the state have stipulated to bonds.
Okay.
In count 1, it'll be $100,000. Counts 2 and 3 will be $10,000 apiece. And count 4 would be $5,000, Your Honor.
Okay, so 100,000, 10,000, 10,000, and 5,000?
Yes,
Did I
Your
hear
Honor.
that right? Okay. So, okay, so the state's not asking me to make that finding, sir, so I'm not gonna make a finding today on that. I am ordering that you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim or any witnesses or anyone in the victim's family. Do you understand that?
Can you repeat what you just said?
You can't have any contact with the victim's family, or any witnesses in the case. That's directly or indirectly, meaning no phone calls, emails, text messaging, or anything in person, anything through social media, anything like that. You understand?
I understand.
Okay. You're also not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. You're not to return to the victim's residence. You're not to have any contact with any minor child under the age of 18. Do you have a passport?
It's expired, but I don't have it anymore. They kept it.
Oh, somebody else has it?
These people, they take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have it in your property? Like
I
when
don't
you
know
got
what they do with-
arrested, they took your passport?
No,
I don't know who these people are, so.
Wayner, Mr. Wayner, Greville.
Okay. I don't know who that is. I don't know if he's getting his passport back if he gets released, or,
I think he told me to.
because I'm gonna order that if he gets his passport back, I'm gonna order he turn it into the clerk's office within 24 hours of his release. If that's on a weekend, then on the Monday after the release, okay?
Okay.
All right? That's the clerk's office downtown. Okay, so I am gonna set the bond as agreed upon by Mr. Thompson and Ms. Bush at the 100,000, 10,000, 10,000, and 5,000. And so I didn't appoint the public defender fully for you because you said you were gonna hire your own attorney. So you might want to contact somebody as soon as possible. Okay, sir? Okay. Good luck. Well, I said no return to the scene, which is the victim's residence.
Right.
Right.
But this has maintained as a resident and do not possess any drugs or alcohol.
Okay, you can, I mean, if it's on the warrant, that's fine.
Leave it? Okay, leave it.
I got you.
Okay.
All right, tell me your name.
Louis Michaels.
All right, Mr. Michaels, you're here in 2020 CF 14888. You were arrested for home invasion robbery, aggravated assault with a weapon, aggravated battery with a weapon. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Thompson, this is one of the co-defendants in the case we've had previously, some
Yes,
other co-defendants. Count one is the punishable by life felony.
Yeah, we reserve the right for the after hearing, Your Honor.
Okay. So did you explain that to Mr. Michaels?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Michaels, did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they're gonna file a bond motion for you in the trial division, all right? All right, so you're not to have any contact with the victim, witness, or any co-defendants. You're not to go back to the victim's residence. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition pursuant to the public defender's statements. I'm gonna hold you at no bond on count one. They'll file a motion. In the trial division, I will stay the bonds on counts 2 and 3 at the 150. All right, tell me your name, please.
Tari Montgomery.
Mr. Montgomery. You're here in 2020 CF 14914AO. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. There is probable cause for the offense. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I am gonna stay the bond as set at 1,000. I'm not gonna revoke your release on the other case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
If you come back again, it may not be a good day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, tell me your name.
Jose Adan Perez Alonso.
Okay, do we know what happened to Devins Morgan? Okay,
Can I hold, Your Honor?
sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Perez Alonso, you're here in 2020 CF 14886AO. You're arrested for home invasion robbery with a weapon, aggravated assault with a weapon, and aggravated battery with a weapon. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And I think this is another co-defendant. I saw y'all discussing it,
Yes,
so,
We're preserving the right as well
okay.
for the Arthur hearing.
So, Mr. Perez Alonso, did you understand what Mr. Thompson explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll file a motion for you in the trial division, looks like Division 20, okay? And so in the meantime, even from the jail, no contact with any victim, witness, or co-defendant, no weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. And if you get out, you can't go back to the victim's residence, okay? So I'll hold you at no bond based on Mr. Thompson's request. The bonds on counts 2 and 3, I'll stay at the 150. You are out on bond in 2020 CF 12513AO. I am going to revoke the bond and set that at none. I'll appoint the public defender if they don't already, if you already don't have them in the case, okay?
We're getting contact.
I take this off, no? Oh.
All right, tell me your name.
Hi, my name is Carmen Rivera.
All right, Ms. Rivera, you're here in 2020 CF 14778AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for burglary of a conveyance, petty theft, and fraudulent use of credit cards over $100. And do we have a form for the public defender for Ms. Rivera? Okay. I'll appoint the public defender for you to, Ms. Rivera.
Yes.
You can't have any contact with any victims or witnesses. No return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. That's that Walgreens, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
The 13720 West Colonial Drive. And I'm gonna place you on pretrial release. Make sure you comply with pretrial release in my order, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't miss any court dates.
Okay.
All right, tell me your name, please.
Robert Shirk.
Mr. Shirk, you're here in 2020 CF 14894AO. You're arrested for burglary to an unoccupied structure and petty theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return back to the Mad Cow Theater at 54 West Church Street. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. The bond will stay at $3,500. Count 2, I'll reduce to $100.
Ma'am? What'd you say? Miss Wish?
What did you not hear?
I didn't hear the bond.
It's $3,500 and I reduced count 2 to 100.
You refuse?
So it's $3,600 total.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no way that you can possibly OR me?
I'm not gonna do that with your.
I've never had a burglary charge at all.
Well, sir, you have a lot of out-of-state history.
Yes, ma'am. And
You recently pled to an offense in Volusia County
for
loitering.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing
That
here,
was
ma'am.
just a couple days ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, there's a lot more alleged in this affidavit than just loitering.
Can I
okay?
speak- can
Well,
I-
I would not talk about the facts of the case. Mr. Thompson is representing the public defender's office, so if you have a question, I don't want you to talk on the record. You can avoid it. Huh? All right, tell me your name.
My name is Roberta Marie Smith.
All right, Ms. Smith, you're here in 2018 CF 3913AO. You failed to appear for a status hearing on October 22nd, 2020. The judge did revoke your conditional release and advised that the clerk is to notify the court when you were served with the capias. So right now, the bond is set at none. Looks like the judge in Division 15 will be notified. They'll get you back on the docket quickly, okay?
Okay, thank you.
She has the PD, right? Okay. All right, and Mr. Kaplan.
Good afternoon, Judge, and I apologize. that
Oh, you're fine. Mr. Webster, are you filing a notice of appearance
We
or have you done
filed one
so?
this morning. I
Okay.
checked, I believe it's in the court
I just want to make sure he
electronically.
has an attorney,
Yes, ma'am.
unless he was you were just here for IA.
No, I filed a notice of appearance. Judge, the state and I have had an opportunity to talk. We have a stipulation as to bonds and
Okay,
count
let me
one.
just call the
Oh, I
case.
apologize.
Okay, no, you're
Didn't mean
fine.
to get ahead of you.
So this is 2020 CF 143040AO. The state did file an information charging Mr. Kaplan with 3 counts of sexual battery on a child under 12 by a person under the age of 18, all of which are life felonies. And a judge did find probable cause. And so you've indicated you did speak with Ms. Bush and you've agreed upon bond.
We do. On count 1, we agreed to a $100,000 bond. Count 2, $10,000. Count 3, $10,000. In all 3 counts, he would agree to certain, you don't have a passport, do you?
I do have a passport.
He'll surrender his passport. He's not to have any contact with any of the named individuals in the report, specifically the victim. He is not to have any unsupervised contact with any children under the age of 18.
And the traditional no weapons.
Oh, yeah, no weapons.
Okay.
Standard.
And I'm going to have him sign the no contact order because it's the familial relationship.
That's fine.
So I did have them provide it to him before. I think.
That just says you want every
Did you read that, Mr. Kaplan?
I'm sorry, Judge?
Did you read that order?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, and did you understand everything on it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'll have you sign that. Make sure that you understand it so you don't violate any of those conditions. If you have questions about anything, you'll have to contact Mr. Webster, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So based on what the state and Mr. Webster have agreed to, the conditions of release are going to be no contact directly or indirectly with the victim, any witnesses in the case, and I believe many of those people are the victim's family.
Correct.
So anybody who's named in all that probable cause information, and I'm sure Mr. Webster can either provide that to you if you haven't seen it yet, so you can see who all those people are, okay? No unsupervised contact with any minor child under the age of 18. Surrender any passport. I'll have him, he can surrender it to you or surrender it to the clerk's office
He can just
whenever,
have to-
within 24 hours of him bonding out,
Perfect.
okay?
Well, yeah, I'll have him surrender to me then, because the clerk's office is closed tomorrow, so
Right, and then if you can, you can give it to the clerk.
I'll do notice of filing
Okay.
that I have it, otherwise I'll give it to the clerk, yes. I'll comply with the conditions.
No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. I think that, I don't think a no return is necessary based on the date, it's a long time
separate
that the
residences,
offenses were alleged to have
Correct.
occurred, so. Did you understand everything that I explained, Mr. Kaplan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, any questions, talk to Mr. Webster, don't miss any court dates. And the bonds will be set at 100,000, 10,000, and 10,000, okay?
Thank you, Judge. And
All
again, I
right.
apologize for running late.
Oh, no, I'm glad you can make it
Yeah,
because it's
I-
always easier than the phone, it's really
Absolutely.
hard to hear.
Try to juggle 3 things at once, so when the others got done, I
Well,
was
that's
like.
good,
"What
it means
else?"
you're busy.
Yeah, too busy. I need a little break.
Well, have a good holiday, it
Yeah,
was
you
good
too.
seeing
Merry
you.
Christmas, everybody.
All right. All right, tell me your name, please.
Israel Valle.
All right, Mr. Vale, you're here in 2018 CF 11662AO. This is a violation of probation warrant. Judge LeBlanc did set your bond at $1,000, and I will appoint the public defender. If you can bond out, you can bond out. If not, you'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days, okay?
Okay.
All right, please tell me your name.
Brianna Chamberlain.
All right, ma'am, you're here on a couple out-of-county warrants. I have a violation of probation warrant out of Seminole County. The judge did set your bond at $500. I have a violation of probation warrant out of Seminole County as well. And that's also a $500 bond. And I have another out-of-county warrant out of Marion County. That bond is set at none. And I'm going to appoint the public defender in all of these cases for you. We will also reach out to Marion County to see if they will give you a bond. But the public defender's office can file any motions for you and coordinate with Marion County as well, okay?
Okay.
All right, tell me your name, please.
Jamil Lane, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant out of DeSoto County. The judge did set your bond at $5,000 on all 5 counts. And I'm gonna appoint the public defender here to help you with your case in case you're not able to bond out, okay? But we'll reach out if you're not able to bond out, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, was there a violation of probation for out of county as well?
No, there was a teletype received where that count was released.
Okay, thank you.
You welcome.
All right, tell me, oh, sorry. Mr. Thompson, these are all out of counties. I don't know if you want to run back there and, if you have a moment, and
All right.
talk to Mr. Lutton, Mr. Green, and Mr. Darushi.
No problem.
Okay, maybe just, have a little powwow back there. All right, tell me your name.
Tanya Morales.
All right, Ms. Morales, you are here on an out-of-county warrant out of Marion County. You have a $2,000 bond. And another Lake County warrant, you have $2,000 bonds on 4 counts. And I'll appoint the public defender in case you're not able to bond out.
I can bond out. It's just a no bond on the Georgia. That's what I'm trying to figure out now.
Oh, I see. You have it looks like, well, I don't have much on your face sheet other than a fugitive from justice.
What's that mean?
It's from Georgia for the charge of theft by taking, and it's full extradition, so they're coming.
So they're gonna come and get you.
Mm-hmm.
I've appointed the public defender. I can't give you legal advice. I don't know, will they pick her up if she hasn't bonded out of the?
Oh, that I
so
don't know.
if you wanna go back to Georgia to handle that other stuff, you're gonna have to bond out on the Orange County, and then you'll be
I don't
held
have
in-
no charges here.
I understand. I'm sorry, but you'll have to bond out, but you're in Orange County. So
Okay.
you'll have to bond out of the Orange County Jail for the Marion County cases. One in Lake, one in Marion, and then Georgia will come and get you.
Okay, so if I don't, who's coming to get me first?
Most likely Lake.
I can't tell you, but they said most likely Lake,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Tell me your name.
Melanie Pumpus.
All right, so you are here on a Seminole County warrant. The bond is set at $500.
I got a question about that.
I'm sorry?
I got.
You have a $500 bond on your Seminole County warrant. I can't change that bond, but we will reach out to Seminole County if you can't make the bond. I'll appoint the public defender here as well, okay?
But the thing is, I ain't never been arrested in Seminole County.
I don't know anything about what's going on in Seminole County. You
But
have
they
a
better
petty-
check some satellites.
You have a petty theft charge in Seminole
But
County.
ain't been stealing in Seminole County.
It's a warrant.
That means I had to been arrested in Seminole County.
You just got arrested and it's a Seminole County case.
But I ain't never been in trouble in Seminole County.
That's what it is.
But I ain't never been in trouble in Seminole County.
That's the case that you're being arrested on. You haven't been arrested yet on it. This is the arrest.
But ain't been still in no Seminole County.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to an attorney if you're not understanding what I'm explaining, but that's the best way I can explain it.
But y'all not understanding when a person say they ain't done nothing wrong. Y'all just money hungry. That's all they is, just money hungry.
Tell me your name.
Leptune Prinville.
All right, Mr. Prinville, you're here on a Lee County warrant. You do have no bond on the Lee County case. I'm gonna appoint the public defender here to help you out. We will reach out to Lee County with regards to your case. Is that the only case?
I also have a
should
case
also
in
have a
Polk County. And
Okay, I don't,
they were supposed to
I
come
only,
get.
okay, hold on. I don't have the other case. I only have one case. We only have one case? We only have one case. But I see that there's a second case on the face sheet.
Okay. I believe he was already seen on that, Your
Okay.
Honor. On the
So I've
12th.
appointed the public defender for you in your case in Lee County here. So you can talk to them if you have any questions. We'll also reach out to Lee County.
They told me that Polk County was gonna come pick me up.
Okay, well, if Polk County comes to get you, then they'll come and get you.
Well,
I don't know who's coming to get you. I don't control who comes and gets who, okay?
last time I came here, they told me they would be here to get me. And
Right, but when you were here last time, nobody knew about this case. Because now you're brought here. So I don't know who's gonna come and get you first.
Now, I bonded out of Orange County.
Okay.
And I've been waiting for Polk, and I haven't heard nothing. They told me they had 72 hours to come get me.
There's no requirement.
Huh?
We're in the middle
That's
of a
what they told me.
pandemic.
That's what y'all
We're in
told
the
me
middle
here.
of a pandemic. There's no requirement. Tell me your name.
James Tarpley.
All right, Mr. Tarpley, you're here on an Osceola County warrant. The judge did set your bond at none for a violation of probation. And I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. They should be able to help you pretty easily because if it's Osceola, so it's the same circuit. We'll also reach out to Osceola to see if they'll give you a bond. I'm not gonna take any action on your other cases, okay?
Your Honor, can I ask you this? Wednesday, right? I spoke to my my probation officer. He violated me in advance, right? Like prematurely before he realized anything that I had to
So,
complete
Mr.
everything.
Tarpley, I'm sure that you had some sort of discussion with your PO, but I'm not an Osceola County judge,
But
I'm an Orange County judge, so I don't have any control over the violation of probation in Osceola County.
Yes, ma'am. That wasn't my
Okay, so the
question.
public defender's been appointed, it's the same circuit, it's the same office in Osceola and Orange. They'll help you out.
One thing I was saying is that I spoke to him and he told me that he was trying to get the warrant removed. I supposed to went in on Thursday and talked to him. He told me he was trying to get it
Okay,
removed. I
well,
didn't know
You've been served with the warrant, so the warrant can't get removed yet now, okay? So
Yes, ma'am.
call your PO, let them know that you're here. Maybe there's something that the PO can do and contact the judge, but we'll reach out to the judge, but I can't change the warrant, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Bush, do you have an update on the 33-day for Cody Amon in
Your Honor,
20?
that's the one that the state did not have on its list. And did I ask for it to be reset? I don't recall.
Yeah, you said you didn't have the information yet, and so I said we would, at the end of the session, I said we could recall it second session.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did not. I don't even recall.
I said, I looked it up and the only thing that I saw in there was the motion and that nothing had been
yeah.
filed.
Okay. And I think that was, for some reason, I think that was before I had the right list in front of me. If I may have just one moment.
Sure,
Your
do you
Honor.
need the case number?
May I have the case number again?
Well, now, you know what? So today, It's now in there. A notice of non-filing has been filed.
Okay.
Okay? So that solves that. So now it's in there. It was filed at 10:51 a.m. on today's date.
All right, thank
So
you.
I'm going to grant that. That's 2020 CF 13769AO. Cody Amon.
I completely forgot.
No, it's fine. That's why I keep my paper here.
It's just been one of those
It's been a day. Okay. All right. So, tell me your name again.
El Mustafa Derouche.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Darush. Did you talk with Mr. Thompson?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he go over the plea form with you?
Yes, he did.
Did you understand everything that he explained
Yes,
to you?
I understand.
Okay, let me ask the question and then answer. Okay. Did you understand everything that he explained to you that was on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he answer any questions that you might have about what was on the plea form
Yes,
if you
he
had
did.
any questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on probation anywhere?
No, I'm not.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, entering this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And again, this was 2020 MM 8912AO, and you were going to enter a plea of no contest to trespass on property after warning. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And the agreed upon plea was you would be adjudicated guilty, 7 days with credit for 2 days time served. You cannot return back to the Wawa at 6500 West Sand Lake Road, no contact with victims or witnesses, and abide by the trespass, and I would give you a year to pay your court costs off. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I do find that there's a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. As I stated, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days with credit for 2 days time served, no return back to that Wawa, abide by the trespass, no contact with victims or witnesses, and pay your court costs by December 18th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, tell me your name.
Craig Hugh Green.
All right, Mr. Green, did Mr. Thompson go over everything with you on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that he explained to you?
Yes.
And did you have any questions for him? And did he answer any questions that you had?
Yes.
Okay. Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right. And in 2020 MM 8937AO, you were charged with resisting an officer without violence and trespassing an occupied structure as a refusal to leave. And the agreement was an adjudication of guilt, 10 days with credit for 2 days time served, no return back to the scene, no contact with victims or witnesses, and abide by the trespass. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay, and you're gonna plea no contest?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days with credit for 2 days time served on each count. Those counts will run concurrent. I'll order you pay your court costs by December 18, 2021. Again, no return back to that Red Roof Inn, no contact with victims or witnesses, abide by the trespass, pay, and I said pay your court costs.
Okay.
If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck, Mr. Green.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Oh,
Mr. Lutton was medical examiner.
oh. He had a medical situation. Do you want me to reset him for tomorrow, Mr. Thompson? We'll put in the court minutes the offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think he'll be available tomorrow? Okay, so can we put in the court minutes that it's reset and that the state's offer was a withhold of adjudication, 2 days credit for time served, no return, abide by the trespass, and no contact. And I had no objection to releasing him on his own recognizance if he wanted to be released. So what do you want to do, Mr. Thompson? Because He could either come back tomorrow and enter the plea,
Or take it out.
or I'll ROR him.
We'll take the RR.
Okay. Sorry, Madam Clerk. So I'm gonna ROR Mr. Lutton. The same conditions though. He has no criminal history. I'm gonna order that he get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of his release, and I'll appoint the public defender if I didn't already say that. All right. Is that it?